You can continue to listen, but you can't just listen and not act. And we have to now act, and we have to save the pension system.
Teachers from all over the Commonwealth are marching to make sure they still have a pension plan come retirement time. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back to 9 on your side at 5:30. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin says that he's hoping to save those pensions.
Now, you know, Governor Bevin sat down for an exclusive one-on-one interview with our Jake Ryle, who is joining us now with what the governor had to say. Jake?
Yeah, his biggest point was the possibility of the fact that there could be a little bit of misinformation amongst the teachers. He says they're working to save a broken system so teachers and those state employees won't be left out without a retirement fund they paid for.
A sign of the times at the Kentucky State Capitol. For teachers,
I think we're definitely being noticed.
the steps
A public pension is absolutely necessary.
are their classroom.
We're so passionate about our jobs. We're so invested in what we're doing. Just getting, everything ready to do our best for kids every day takes most of our energy.
Teachers and school employees pay into their pension. Think of it like a retirement fund. But for decades,
Find funding first, absolutely. A pension is a promise. We pay our fair share, and it's time that they gave us our fair share back.
the state has been chipping into the pension to balance the budget. And this change comes at a time when the state really doesn't have much.
Really thinking about safety in schools, and we're talking about mental health counselors and all of these extra needs. We definitely can't afford these big cuts.
All these things are related to whether or not we as a state have the resources needed.
I got an exclusive one-on-one interview with Governor Matt Bevin today. He says the voices are being heard.
The time for listening comes, and the time for listening goes. And then it's a time for action. You can continue to listen, but you can't just listen and not act. And we have to now act, and we have to save the pension system.
But the reality sets in. $41 billion in pension debt. Ultimately, it's going to take time, Bevin says.
This is going to take decades to fix it. Where's that money going to come from? That's many multiples of all the revenue that this state makes in a single year. So the reality is it's going to take a long time.
Lawmakers have committed to $3.3 billion into the pension system over the next 2 years just to keep the whole thing afloat. Ultimately, the bill could have several raises cut for retired teachers. Now, those raises would be restored once the system is back at 90% funded. Now, as for a timeline, we're now into the final 10 days of the 60-day session. Jake Ryle, 9 on your side.